The D4vd and Celeste Rivas case has taken a turn that people on the internet have been waiting for. Since September of last year, David Anthony Burke, known professionally as D4vd, has been formally identified as the target of a grand jury investigation into the alleged homicide of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, according to recently unsealed court documents. The internet has been watching this case for months, and now the courts are making moves that could change everything. So let's get into how this all unfolded. On September 8, 2025, officers responded to an impound lot for a foul odor coming from a vehicle. That vehicle was a Tesla. The Tesla had been at the impound lot for 2 days. After being found abandoned on a Hollywood street, what investigators found inside that car would go on to make headlines around the world and set off one of the most closely followed cases in recent memory. Detectives opened the front trunk of the car and saw a cadaver bag covered with insects. There was also a strong odor of decay, according to a statement from Los Angeles Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman. According to Silverman, the officers unzipped the bag and saw a decomposed head and torso. Specialists from the medical examiner's department were then called in to process the remains. But that was not even the worst of it. According to court documents, officers found 2 separate cadaver bags in the front storage compartment, one covered with insects containing a decomposed head and torso, and a second containing the girl's arms and legs. Officers described her body as severely decomposed and said the strong smell of decay was attracting flies to the car. Now here's the detail that brought D4vd into the picture right away. The young victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, was found in a black Tesla registered to Burke. The car had apparently been abandoned in the Hollywood Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles and had been towed to a police impound yard. So the car that contained the body of a missing teenage girl was registered under the name David Anthony Burke. That is D4vd. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office on September 16th said the remains found in the Tesla were identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had been reported missing on April 5, 2024. It took medical examiners a full week to identify the victim because of how decomposed the body was. Based on the date of birth listed, her remains were found a day after her 15th birthday. She may have been dead for several weeks before her body was discovered, police said. Now, at the time of the discovery, D4vd was actually on tour. D4vd was on tour at the time the car was impounded. On September 8, 2025, Burke performed at the Fillmore, Minneapolis as part of his Withered tour. The same day, heavily decomposed human remains were discovered inside the front trunk of an impounded Tesla registered to Burke in Los Angeles. He was playing a show in Minneapolis on the same day that his car was being opened up in a Hollywood tow yard and a dismembered body was being pulled out. When the news first broke, his team put out a statement. A spokesperson for D4vd said in a statement to NBC News that the singer has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. But was he actually cooperating? We will come back to that. Detectives determined that the Tesla had been parked on Bluebird Avenue since late July, around the time D4vd began a national tour. So the car had been sitting on a street in the Hollywood Hills for over a month with a body in the front trunk. Think about that for a second. Late July all the way to early September, over a month, on a public street. The Department of Transportation marked the vehicle and issued a citation. Before impounding it, the filing stated, so the car was actually ticketed before it was eventually towed. The police report shared that D4vd's car was ticketed by the authorities 11 days before it was found in the impound lot. That means the Tesla sat with a citation on it for 11 days, on a public road, with a dismembered body inside. To understand the weight of this case, you need to know who Celeste was. Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez was a 14-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore, California. Born to parents who immigrated from El Salvador, Rivas was reported as missing 3 times in the final year of her life, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. She last ran away in April 2024 and last contacted her family in May 2024. Surveillance footage and digital evidence revealed that Rivas was alive in September 2024 and January 2025. So here is the timeline. Celeste went missing in April 2024 when she was 13 years old. She had contact with her family for the last time in May 2024. Digital evidence suggests she was alive as late as January 2025. Her body was found in September 2025. That leaves a gap of months where no one knows exactly what happened to her. Rivas Hernandez had been reported missing at least 3 times in 2024, according to the Los Angeles Times. Most recently, she was reported missing in April 2024, before her body was found over a year later on September 8. Now here is where D4vd comes in directly. TMZ reported in September 2025 that Hernandez's mother claimed Rivas's boyfriend was named David. The two shared matching tattoos on their right index fingers. Matching tattoos on their fingers. between a 20-year-old artist and a girl who was 13 when she went missing. Let that sit for a moment. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed earlier that Rivas and Burke were involved in a romantic relationship, but it's not yet clear how long they'd been involved or to what extent. Now, D4vd's friends in the LA scene had a different understanding of who Celeste was. Friends of the singer frequently saw D4vd and Celeste together and believed they were romantically involved, but they did not know her real age. According to TMZ, D4vd's friends had no idea that the girl they had seen him with was underage, and they believed she was a 19-year-old college student. She attended USC from what they believed, Neff said. They told TMZ they were shocked she was underage because she was present at multiple age-restricted events. Law enforcement sources previously confirmed to TMZ that Rivas Hernandez had multiple fake IDs, which could have given the teen access into such events. At the time, Rivas went missing in April 2024. She was only 13 years old, while D4vd was 19. Speculation has spread that the two may have been in an illegal relationship, given that D4vd is an adult and Rivas is a minor. Even D4vd's own Discord moderator said something. The mod says they were not aware of her true age or that she was a missing person. According to that admin, based on what was shared in D4vd's Twitch streams, and from Rivas Hernandez's role in the Discord server, they believe she was around 18 or 19 years old. So this is the picture. A girl who ran away from home multiple times, who had fake IDs, who was embedded in a world she should never have been in, and who ended up dead and dismembered inside the car of the man she was reportedly dating. And at the time they were first reportedly together, she was 13 and he was 19. After the body was identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez on September 16th, things moved fast. On September 19th, 2025, D4vd canceled the remainder of his Withered World Tour. On September 17, 2025, detectives with the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division served a search warrant on D4vd's $20,000 a month rental home, located not far from where the Tesla was parked. Several bags of evidence were seized from the home. According to ABC7, D4vd was present at his home when the LAPD searched the premises. TMZ reported that the LAPD detectives walked out of his home with a computer and several evidence bags. Then just days later, D4vd left the property. The same day the body was released to her family, movers were seen hauling boxes and other items from the home into a moving truck. The homeowner confirmed with TMZ that D4vd's manager, Josh Marshall, informed him they'd be breaking the lease and move out by the end of the week. The fallout for D4vd's career was immediate and total. On September 8, 2025, heavily decomposed human remains were discovered in a Tesla registered to Burke, prompting Crocs and Hollister Co. to remove his promotional content. Concerts scheduled for September 19th, 20 were canceled, and the deluxe edition of Withered, subtitled Marcescence, was shelved, along with planned appearances, and Interscope Records suspended all Burke-related promotions. Kali Uchis sought removal of their collaboration song Crashing from streaming platforms. In the following days, the tour's European and Australian shows, and Burke's planned performance at Spilt Milk in December were canceled. Here is an interesting detail. During the investigation, Burke's music streams on Spotify doubled from the previous week. In 2025, Burke became the top searched musician on Google and overall person. Now let's talk about what the LAPD was saying publicly versus what was happening behind the scenes. Although the LAPD has publicly declined to characterize the girl's death as a homicide, an LAPD detective referred to the case as a murder investigation in a court filing. That is a gap. In public, they are calling it a death investigation. In court documents, the word murder is being used. And this gap went on for months. A private investigator named Steve Fisher was hired by the landlord of the Hollywood Hills property D4vd had been renting. Fisher wrote online, "It's infuriating that we are approaching 6 months, and no charges have been filed in her murder." He was open about his frustration. Fisher ridiculed the investigator's contact with the media, calling the press releases misleading. In October 2025, Fisher revealed that his investigation had uncovered footage from neighborhood security cameras showing the Tesla being moved in late July 2025, around the time authorities believe Rivas's remains may have been inside the trunk. Fisher said he is certain of the driver's identity, but has not publicly named the individual. The spokesperson's initial claim that D4vd was fully cooperating also came into question. A police source told NBC Los Angeles that the singer has not been cooperative, so his team said he was cooperating. A police source said the opposite. Burke has retained criminal defense attorney Blair Burke to represent him as the investigation continues. His management team at Darkroom Interscope Records has not provided official statements, and the record label has effectively frozen his career since the discovery of the body. It was also reportedly believed that more than one person may have been involved in the process of dismembering and disposing of her body. That piece of information is worth keeping in your mind as we move forward, because it factors into the people who have been subpoenaed and arrested as part of this case. On November 21, 2025, the LAPD obtained a court order to place a security hold on the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's case file for Rivas, preventing the release of any details, including the cause and manner of death. The order was granted by Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Craig Richmond, who sealed the medical examiner's findings, including autopsy results. So to this day, the official cause of death has not been made public. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has not yet released an official cause of death. Everything remains sealed. In November 2025, the legal pressure escalated. Prosecutors began presenting evidence to a grand jury, described at the time as an investigative grand jury, according to a source who spoke on the condition of anonymity, because they were not authorized to discuss the case with the media. The grand jury is where everything started to accelerate. Witnesses were called, evidence was presented, and people close to D4vd were being dragged in, willingly or not. First, there was D4vd's manager. It was reported that Burke's manager, Robert Morgenroth, spent 3 days testifying before the grand jury, signaling how deeply prosecutors have been digging into people close to the case. Robert Morgenroth, general manager of Mogul Vision, testified before the grand jury and was questioned about the singer's movements and the handling of the case. A TMZ reporter overheard something telling in the courtroom hallway. A TMZ reporter heard Morgenroth tell his lawyer in the courtroom hallway that prosecutor Beth Silverman was very pushy as to why he didn't call the police. Morgenroth said he responded by saying it wasn't his responsibility, and his job was to make sure D4vd's tour kept going. That response right there raises questions on its own. The manager of an artist with a dead girl in his car told a prosecutor that calling the police was not his responsibility, and that his job was to keep the tour going. You can draw your own conclusions from that. Then there was Neo Christopher Langston, a 23-year-old Twitch streamer known online as Neo the Asian, and a close associate of singer D4vd, was arrested on January 22, 2026, for failing to appear as a witness before a grand jury. Langston was taken into custody at his mother's Helena, Montana home. After a Los Angeles judge issued an arrest warrant, he posted $60,000 bail after being transported to LA and booked into the Metropolitan Detention Center. Why did he flee? Why did he refuse to show up? Legal analysts suggest that a no-show witness usually indicates fear of retaliation or an attempt to protect the suspect. When Neo finally appeared before the grand jury on February 4, 2026, Langston spent roughly 30 to 40 minutes before the panel and left the courthouse without answering questions from reporters. Compare that to the manager who was in there for 3 days. 30 to 40 minutes is unusually short. His brief appearance before the grand jury has fueled speculation. Did he invoke the Fifth Amendment? Online, internet sleuths had their own theories about Neo Langston. Posts on Reddit and other platforms speculated whether Langston may have been involved in moving D4vd's Tesla. Many believe that the person Fisher saw on the neighborhood's footage, moving and abandoning the vehicle in late July, was the Twitch streamer. Private investigator Steve Fisher, hired by the owner of the Hollywood Hills property, released new photos of Rivas with D4vd and Langston. He claimed that on December 31, 2024, at around 10 p.m., several people, including Rivas, were in D4vd's house. Now let's talk about D4vd's family. The documents, filed in Texas without the sealing protections applied in California, sought grand jury testimony from D4vd's father, Dawood Burke, his mother, Colleen Burke, and his brother, Caleb Burke, starting on February 11. The family fought back. The First District Court of Appeals in Texas denied habeas corpus petitions from all 3 family members that sought to overturn a lower court ruling requiring them to testify in California. Their attorney was not done, though. While the Court of Appeals denied our writ later that day, we filed a subsequent writ. In a higher court, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals attorney Kent A. Schaffer said they agreed with us and issued a stay of the lower court's order, which commanded the Burke's appearance in California. A prosecutor in Texas put things plainly at the hearing. I would say if a car with a dismembered, decomposing body is registered to your home address, that is something you should expect to be questioned by the authorities about. And that's what this is, Judge, Waller County Assistant DA Bennett Dodson said. Court records state that detectives learned that D4vd's mother, Colleen, is instrumental in the singer's career and manages his business finances. Both parents are noted to have a close relationship with D4vd. That is why prosecutors want them on the stand. This brings us to February 25 and 26, 2026, the moment everyone has been watching for. Newly unsealed court documents obtained through Texas court proceedings drop the word that changes everything: Target. D4vd, whose legal name is David Burke, may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses against the laws of the state of California, to wit: 1 count of murder, according to court papers obtained by CNN. Petitions included as exhibits in a 151-page filing by lawyers representing D4vd's parents and brother state that the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office identified the singer as the target of its grand jury inquiry. Let me explain what target means in legal terms. In a grand jury proceeding, there are 3 categories of people: a witness, a subject, and a target. A witness is someone who may have information. A subject is someone whose conduct is within the scope of the investigation. A target is someone the prosecution believes, based on evidence, has committed a crime, and against whom criminal charges are likely. Being named a target is the highest designation you can receive from a grand jury. It means prosecutors believe they have enough evidence to move toward an indictment. The 20-year-old singer is alleged to have possibly committed 1 count of murder, according to the filings dated John Doe 15. Prosecutors, led by Beth Silverman, believe Burke was involved in the death and are pushing for murder charges. Multiple sources indicate Burke is likely to face such charges. The grand jury will be asked to hand down an indictment based on the evidence presented, including physical evidence, digital records, and witness testimony. Pop Crave reported on February 26 that D4vd has been confirmed as a target in an active grand jury investigation into the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Drama Alert also posted that D4vd is now suspected of murder in the case. The documents became public not because California released them, but because of the legal battle in Texas. The records were originally filed under seal in California, before being made public through a Texas appellate proceeding tied to the family's efforts to avoid compelled testimony. D4vd's family tried to fight the subpoenas in Texas, and in doing so, the sealed California documents ended up in the Texas court system, where they were unsealed. LAPD has publicly named D4vd as a suspect, and confirmed a second individual is believed to have been involved, before, during, and after Celeste's death. Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton has stated accountability is coming. That statement from LAPD Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton is something to pay attention to. Accountability is coming. That is not vague language. That is a statement of intent. TMZ reports prosecutors are pushing for murder charges and an indictment is likely. Now, the important caveat. As of February 2026, no charges have been filed against anyone, and the investigation remains ongoing. D4vd has not been arrested or charged in the matter. While the grand jury is investigating Burke for 1 count of murder, he has not been formally charged. Being named a target is not the same as being charged. It is not the same as being convicted. The grand jury is still hearing testimony. The medical examiner's findings remain sealed. The cause of death has not been publicly released. But what we do know is this: D4vd's car had a dismembered body in it. The body belonged to a girl he was in a relationship with. She was a minor. She was missing. His team initially said he was cooperating. Police sources said the opposite. His friend fled to Montana rather than testify. His manager spent 3 days on the stand. His family has been fighting subpoenas across state lines. And now, in unsealed court documents, he is identified as the target of a murder investigation. The grand jury process continues. The grand jury process is ongoing, with more witnesses potentially being called to testify through February 2026. D4vd's attorney, Blair Burke, has not made public statements about the case. D4vd's lawyers have not responded to multiple requests for comment. CNN twice contacted Burke's attorney, who declined to comment. CNN understands from a source that Burke has left the rental home in the Hollywood Hills, where he had been living. He is no longer at the property where the search warrant was executed. He is no longer on tour. His record label has frozen his career. His collaborators have distanced themselves. And now, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has put his name in a document that says 1 count of murder. For context on who D4vd was before all of this, David Anthony Burke was born on March 28, 2005, in Queens, New York City. His family later moved to Houston, Texas. Burke began his music career by uploading Fortnite gaming montages. To avoid copyright issues, he started creating original music, blending lo-fi pop, R&B, and indie rock. D4vd, a platinum-selling artist who gained international popularity on TikTok, broke through in 2022 with his singles Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. He was 17 when he went viral. He was 19 when Celeste went missing. He was 20 when her body was found. And now, at 20 years old, he is the target of a murder investigation. The family of Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been waiting since April 2024 for answers. They reported their daughter missing. They were told her boyfriend was named David. They saw the matching tattoos. And then, a year and a half later, they were told her body was found, dismembered, in the trunk of a car belonging to a famous singer. This case is not over. The grand jury has not handed down an indictment yet. No charges have been filed. D4vd has not been arrested, but the legal walls are closing in. Every person close to him is being dragged before a grand jury. His friend was arrested for refusing to testify. His family is fighting to avoid taking the stand. And the documents say what the documents say. Target David Burke. 1 count of murder. We will keep an eye on this one. If the grand jury returns an indictment, the next chapter in this story is an arrest. Until then, everything we covered here comes from court documents, police reports, and news outlets. If anything changes, you will hear about it. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss the update when it drops.